He makes me feel alive, she said. I smiled, signed the papers, sold the house, ghosted the world, walked away free, and let the truth catch up to her alone. Hey, Reddit. I need to tell you something, she said, sitting across from me at our kitchen table. Derek makes me feel alive in ways you never could. I looked up from my coffee. 39 years old, married for 11 years, and this was how it ended. Not with tears or apologies. With cold certainty in her eyes. Okay, I said. She blinked. That's it. Just okay. What do you want me to say? Her mouth opened, then closed. She'd rehearsed this conversation, I could tell. Practiced her lines in the mirror, maybe even with him. But my response wasn't in her script. I thought you'd fight for us, she said quietly. There's no us to fight for anymore. You made that choice. The thing is, I'd known for 3 months. Not suspected. Known. I'd seen the messages, the receipts, the late-night calls she took in the bathroom. I'd watched her become a different person, someone who hummed while getting ready for girls' nights that always seemed to happen on Wednesdays when Derek's wife worked late shifts at the hospital. I'd spent those 3 months planning. Not revenge. Something better. Exit. I want a divorce, she said, reclaiming her prepared speech. I deserve to be happy. You do, I agreed. We both do. She looked confused again. This wasn't the devastated husband she'd expected. The one who'd beg and cry and make her feel important. I've already spoken to a lawyer, she continued, gaining confidence. I think we should split everything 50-50. The house, the savings, my retirement accounts. The house is already sold. Silence. Complete, beautiful silence. What? I sold the house 3 weeks ago. Closing is in 10 days. Her face went pale. You can't do that without my signature. I can. The house is in my name. You wanted that, remember? For tax purposes. Your accountant father's advice. She stood up so fast her chair scraped against the floor. That's my house too. I've lived here for 11 years. And now you'll live somewhere else. With Derek, I assume. You knew, she whispered. You knew and you didn't say anything. I did know. I also know he still lives with his wife. I know he has 3 kids under 10. I know his wife doesn't actually work late on Wednesdays. She started going to therapy sessions because she suspected he was cheating. She sat back down, slowly. How long have you known? Long enough. The truth was, I discovered everything by accident. I'd gone to grab her phone charger one night and saw a message pop up. Not from Derek. From his wife, Nicole. A message meant for someone else that got sent to the wrong number, asking if they'd seen her husband with anyone. That started the investigation. I'm a data analyst. Finding patterns is what I do. And the pattern here was obvious once I looked. Wednesday nights. Sunday afternoons when I played golf. Friday lunches that ran long. Every moment choreographed around his availability, around his real life. She wasn't his priority. She was his hobby. I want a divorce too, I said. I have papers drawn up. Very fair terms. You get your retirement accounts, your car, your personal belongings. I get the proceeds from the house sale, my retirement accounts, and my car. That's not fair. I'm entitled to half the house value. You're entitled to what the law says you're entitled to. And given that you've been having an affair for at least 6 months, documented and proven, I think a judge would be quite interested in how fair my offer actually is. She froze. You have proof. I'm a data analyst. Of course I have proof. I didn't tell her everything. I didn't mention the private investigator I'd hired, the photos, the timeline I'd built, the conversations I'd saved, the credit card statements showing hotel rooms and dinners she'd sworn were work events. I especially didn't mention the conversation I'd had with Nicole 2 weeks ago. That one had been difficult. Sitting across from a woman I'd never met, telling her that her husband and my wife were having an affair, showing her the evidence, watching her cry. But she deserved to know, and she deserved to make her own choices with full information. I'll sign whatever you want, my wife said finally. But I need time to find a place. You have 10 days. That's when I'm moving out. Where are you going? Does it matter? She looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. Or maybe the last time. I never meant to hurt you, she said. Yes, you did. You just didn't think I'd notice. The next week was surreal. We lived in the same house like strangers. She spent most of her time on her phone, texting frantically. I spent mine packing the things that mattered. On Wednesday, she didn't go out. On Friday, she worked from home. On Sunday, she sat in the living room crying. I didn't ask. I didn't care. But I knew. Derek had pulled back. The reality of his wife knowing, the threat of his comfortable life imploding, had made him choose. And he hadn't chosen my wife. She tried to talk to me on day 8. "Can we discuss this?" she asked, finding me in the garage. "Maybe we're making a mistake. Maybe we should try counseling." No. Just no? After 11 years, that's all you have to say? What do you want me to say? That I forgive you? That we can work through this? We can't. You didn't just cheat. You looked at me every day, told me you loved me, made plans for our future, all while sleeping with someone else. You didn't make a mistake. You made hundreds of choices that put someone else above our marriage. People make mistakes. This wasn't a mistake. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is saying something hurtful in anger. What you did was calculated. Every lie, every Wednesday night, every time you came home and kissed me after being with him. Those were choices. She was crying now. "I do love you. I felt stuck. Like my life was passing me by. So you thought destroying it would help?" He made me feel young again. Excited. Like anything was possible. He's 43, balding, and drives a leased BMW he can barely afford. He's not possibility. He's a midlife crisis in khakis. She almost laughed. Almost. "When did you become so cruel?" "I'm not cruel. I'm just done being kind to someone who never deserved it." The closing happened on a Tuesday. I signed papers, accepted a check, and walked out of the title company a free man. The house I'd bought 7 years ago, the place I'd thought we'd raise kids in, the symbol of everything we'd built together, gone in 45 minutes. My wife had signed her portion of the divorce papers the day before. Her lawyer had called mine, urging speed. Apparently, she'd found out that Nicole was indeed divorcing Derek, and Derek's comfortable existence was unraveling. My wife wanted her freedom before she became the obvious reason for a family's destruction. Too late for that. I didn't go to the final divorce hearing. My lawyer handled it. No-fault divorce, clean split, done in record time. 11 years reduced to a case number and a stamped decree. I'd already moved to my new place. A small apartment downtown, walking distance from work, a fifth the size of our house. It was perfect. I'd also done something else. Something I planned for 2 months. I'd accepted a job offer. A consulting position with a firm in Seattle. 6-month contract, renewable. It paid significantly more than my current job, and it came with one critical benefit: distance. 3,000 miles of distance. I didn't tell anyone I was leaving. Not my wife. Not my friends. Not my colleagues. I simply gave notice at work, packed my important belongings, and arranged for the rest to go into storage. On my last day in the city, I did one final thing. I mailed a letter to Derek's wife, Nicole. In it, I included a flash drive. On that flash drive was every piece of evidence I'd collected. Messages, photos, credit card statements, a complete timeline. Everything she'd need for her own divorce proceedings. I also included a note. "Nicole, I'm sorry we met under these circumstances. You deserve better. Your kids deserve better. I've left the city and won't be returning. I hope this information helps you move forward with your life. You seem like a good person who made the mistake of trusting the wrong man. I hope you find peace." I didn't sign it. I didn't need to. She'd know who it was from. Seattle was cold when I arrived. February rain, gray skies, the kind of weather that makes you want to stay inside with coffee and a book. I loved it. My apartment overlooked Elliott Bay. At night, I could see the ferries crossing the water, their lights reflecting on the surface. During the day, I could see the Olympics in the distance, snow-capped and eternal. I worked. I explored. I remembered what it felt like to be just me, not half of a failing marriage. 3 weeks after I arrived, I got a text from an unknown number. "This is Nicole. I wanted to thank you for the information you sent. My lawyer says it will help significantly. I also wanted to say I'm sorry for what happened to you. If you're ever back in town, I'd like to buy you coffee." I saved the number, but didn't respond. Some connections don't need to be maintained. A month after that, I got an email from my ex-wife. She'd somehow found my work email. "I need to talk to you. Please call me. It's important." I deleted it without responding. She emailed again a week later. "Derek's wife is taking everything in the divorce. He's going to lose his house. His kids won't talk to him. He blames me. He says I ruined his life. I need you to tell Nicole that we stopped seeing each other before she found out. Please. I can't be the reason his family fell apart." I deleted that one too. The third email came a month later. I lost my job. Someone sent my boss screenshots of messages between Derek and me. Messages we sent on company time, using company devices. They fired me for ethics violations. Was it you? Did you do this? It wasn't me, but I had a feeling I knew who it was. Nicole worked in HR for a major corporation. She'd have connections. She'd know how to make someone's professional life difficult. I still didn't respond. The final email arrived in May. I hope you're happy. I hope destroying my life made you feel powerful. I made a mistake, but you're vindictive. You're cruel. I thought I knew you, but you're a stranger. I read that one twice. Then I wrote a response. You're right. You don't know me. You never did. The person you knew was someone who loved you unconditionally, who would have done anything for you, who built his life around making you happy. That person died when you chose Derek. What's left is someone who finally chose himself. I didn't destroy your life. You did that all on your own. I just stopped protecting you from the consequences. I hit send and then blocked her email. It's been 6 months since I left. 6 months since I walked away from everything I thought I wanted. My contract in Seattle got extended. I'm buying a condo downtown. I've started dating someone, a woman I met at a coffee shop who thinks my story is sad but respects that I don't want to dwell on it. I've made new friends, found new routines, discovered parts of myself I'd forgotten existed. I don't think about my ex-wife often. When I do, it's not with anger or sadness. It's with something closer to indifference. She's a person who used to be in my life. Now she's not. That's the whole story. I heard through a mutual friend that she's struggling, living with a roommate, working a job that pays half what she used to make, dealing with the social fallout of being the other woman in a very public divorce. I heard that Derek lost custody of his kids, that his wife got the house, the cars, and a significant portion of his income for the next decade. I heard a lot of things. None of them made me feel vindictive or powerful. They just made me feel free. Because here's what I learned. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's indifference. And the best revenge isn't destruction. It's building a better life and not looking back. My ex-wife wanted to feel alive. She wanted excitement and possibility and someone who made her feel young. What she got was consequences. Real, unavoidable, permanent consequences. Derek wanted a fun distraction from his boring marriage. A younger woman who made him feel desirable. What he got was a divorce, alienated children, and financial ruin. Both of them wanted something they thought they deserved without considering what it would cost. And the cost was everything. I got one more message a few months ago. This one from Nicole. I wanted you to know that my divorce finalized. The kids are doing better. I'm doing better. I'm grateful for what you did, giving me the information I needed. Some people told me I should have tried to forgive him, tried to keep the family together. But I realized something. Staying wouldn't have kept us together. It would have just taught my kids that betrayal is acceptable if you call it love. So thank you for having the courage I almost didn't have. I responded to that one. I'm glad you're doing well. Teach your kids that they deserve honesty. That's the best thing any of us can do. She replied with a simple, I will. The truth is, I didn't walk away to punish anyone. I walked away to save myself. I could have stayed. I could have fought. I could have tried counseling, therapy, reconciliation. I could have done what everyone expects you to do when a marriage falls apart. Cling to it, desperately, as if letting go means failure. But I realized something in those 3 months between discovering the affair and leaving. Staying would have killed something essential in me. Some core part that knew I deserved better than someone who could look me in the eye and lie. So I left. I signed the papers, sold the house, ghosted the world, and walked away free. I let the truth catch up to her alone. Not because I'm cruel, but because some lessons can only be learned in solitude. She wanted to feel alive. I wanted to actually be alive. Only one of us got what we wanted. And 6 months later, 3,000 miles away, in a city where rain falls like forgiveness and mountains stand like promises, I finally understand what freedom feels like. It feels like waking up and realizing you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. It feels like building a life where honesty isn't negotiable. It feels like looking in the mirror and recognizing the person staring back. My ex-wife once told me Derek made her feel alive. I smiled, signed the papers, and let her discover what being alive actually costs. Because real life isn't an affair on Wednesday nights. It's not stolen moments and hotel rooms and lies told to the person who trusted you most. Real life is consequences, choices, truth. And sometimes, the kindest thing you can do is walk away and let someone learn that lesson on their own. I don't hate her. I don't wish her harm. I just don't wish her anything at all anymore. And that, more than anger or revenge or vindication, is what freedom actually feels like.